5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 from L Town to K Town. It's the L and the B, right, Ryan?
That's right. We're the pound hour, the LB hour.
The LB hour. I'm the L. He's the B, and between that we make a pound because we're so. I probably make about 200. No, I don't know how much pounds I work right now, but I probably make quite a bit of pounds at the moment. Unfortunately, being this pandemic and stuff. What about you? Where are you at?
Weight wise?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I don't want to wait. Just tell me. Just kidding. Anyways.
I'm heavier than I was in high school, but lighter than I was in college. So
well, that's
we'll
probably a good thing, right? Unless in college you had some weird disease that.
No, it was called unlimited food. You had a dining card. You could eat all you wanted every meal.
Oh, that freshman 15 they talk about?
Oh, yeah. And plus 2 hours of weights a day. I probably gained 20 pounds for the first year at Central.
So you gained a lot of weight lifting weights?
Yeah, because I ate constantly. We probably ate
beer and tacos?
Yeah, 3 meals a day, 3 snacks.
Yeah. And what kind of food did they have for you at college?
They had everything, man. They had giant salad bars, meat. They had beef, chicken. It was everything. It was just a smorgasbord every day at Central. It was the best food ever.
That's great. And what college was that, Brian?
Central Washington University, home of the Wildcats.
Home of the Wildcats, right? Like Goldie Hawn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't she teach the Wildcats, or what was she? Yeah. And actually,
I didn't meet her, but I saw her walking around the campus occasionally.
There's another famous movie that portrayed the Wildcats a little bit, referred to the Wildcats. Although I think it was Wildcats somewhere else.
I got a speaker out of place. I got to move the speaker.
Okay, speaker out of place. Well, let me yell a little higher. Hello, can you hear me now? I'm center me. I love that speaker, by the way. It's 1950 speaker from, way back when. And I know the guy that you came from, and it's a cool looking speaker. Yeah, that's a retro speaker, baby.
Yeah, what was the guy's name that you got it from?
No, the guy you got it from, right there, the red speaker.
I got it from you, but who'd you get it from?
I actually bought. It's a good story. I got a 5-second story on that. I bought some storage units, and one of the storage units that I purchased it had, which I thought, of course, it was packed. And so I thought in particular, there was one I saw from far away. I saw a gun case in there, so I thought, for $100, I'm going to buy some rifle or something like that, or a Glock, or I can't remember what it was, but it was a gun case and some other stuff. But to no avail, it did not have that, but it did have that speaker, and it had an old radio and a stereo type of thing, and it had my main thing. What I got out of it was it has Sawzall, so it had one Sawzall. That's worth $100 right there. You know what I mean? I was like, but it was packed full of stuff. Oh, and the coolest thing that I have actually from that, yeah. If you give me 2 seconds to do a show and tell.
Okay.
Of course, my 2 seconds, folks, is kind of long because I'm slow.
We're ready for a show and tell here, and I got a speaker that's a little errant. I got to move it over. So get yourself some coffee. We're going to do some production.
Well, see that
back
speaker
in 15
that was really
seconds.
cool. It was retro, and it had some other stuff too. I think it actually had a sound system in there. But I sold that stuff. I mean, the problem with often the problem with when you buy a storage unit, and this is often the problem.
Often
when you buy a storage unit, you end up giving away. Not giving away. You end up taking 3 loads to the dump of truckloads of stuff. So I end up taking 2 or 3 loads of dirty clothes and underwear and stuff to that dump. So I was which cost you about $60 or $50 for the dump stuff. And this is years ago when I could do that kind of stuff, no problem. But I got this. This is one of the original old time Starbucks mermaids.
Oh, wow.
One of these signs, and I put it on my wall here, but this is very, very old. I mean, for Starbucks anyways, it's very old.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably worth some money. I had never looked into it, but I've been told that I had people, every time they see it, they say they want to buy it or they'd like to have it. So apparently it is valuable. So that was kind of cool.
Nice.
But so that sign right there, and then it's a
Wow.
metal sign, uh, and then the gun it was not in the case, of course, which is kind of a bugger. I mean, no big deal, but that's kind of why I saw it though. I mean, the storage units, you only get to look at it for a second, and then they close it, and then you can, bid on it or whatever. But for $100, it's something fun to do. I mean, and you learn, and it's also fun. I mean, it's a good thing to do. It's fun. It can be valuable. You can learn a lot of stuff from it. And sadly, matter of fact, I've had problem before where I let the person come in and gather some stuff, because if it's personal stuff, like there was pictures and everything, I contacted them before and said, hey, I've got all this memorabilia that I don't want. I'd rather have your family have it, So
Yeah.
contacted them and made sure that they got it, because I didn't want it and I don't want to throw it away, because things like pictures, you can't replace them,
Oh yeah.
not anymore. Nowadays you might be able to with digital stuff, but previously you couldn't,
Yeah.
So pictures but yeah, you will always get dirty underwear, bras, you name it, and then go have to take it down to the dump. It's just, it's sad and it's gross but it's fun. It's just kind of maybe it's something you and I should do sometime, Brian. Go buy a storage unit.
I'll think about it.
Now somebody's got a newer truck.
Yeah.
Just loaded up full of
I
stuff.
thought about that. There's a lot of storage units in the area, so it's something.
Yeah,
to look into.
I have some friends who run or own some of these things, but I mean, you just gotta look for the bare necessities. You gotta look for the time of when, in particular, they're having the auctions. But it can be fun,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But have you ever bought anything that you didn't expect to get and you get a little extra? You know what I mean?
Oh, like bought something at a garage sale. I never had that luck. I never had that lucky buy something and it turns out to be really great. But
Well, mine never been super valuable, but a little bit,
yeah.
I think that this sign was, I thought it was cool, so I kept it. I didn't realize that later on somebody goes, no, that's valuable. That's like the original mermaid from Starbucks, and apparently it's changed around a little bit throughout the years. So that's kind of cool. So I'm lucky to have that one, I guess. But
Oh,
that's just
definitely.
kind of cool to have on my wall there on the coffee thing. But yeah, I guess I've come across a couple great deals in my life on stuff. I've purchased, I don't know. But like I said, it's a lot of work to do those storage units and stuff. And you watch Storage Wars, whatever they do.
Oh yeah, I love that show. That's great.
Yeah, and they often they'll buy boats and cars and stuff, and that's thousands and thousands of dollars. And sometimes I'm sure they lose their money, they lose their shorts. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Didn't you once buy a peanut butter maker?
Oh, at this garage sale. It was one of the best. I'm a huge peanut butter fan, folks. I mean, I literally survived off peanut butter most of my childhood. We couldn't afford meat, so I'm kidding. Well, I don't know, but that's the way it worked in my family. We had a lot of peanut butter for years and years and years, and I highly enjoy it. And so, for the first time in my life, which I've always wanted one, I found a peanut butter machine, a homemade peanut butter machine at a garage sale. He was at a newer friend's house actually, and I say newer because I'm not sure that friendship actually ever lasted, but I'll tell you.
At a yard sale or a garage sale?
The yard sale, I think, in particular.
Yard sale.
Backyard sale, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, but so I bought this peanut butter maker, and I was like, oh, this is cool, and it was very clean on the outside and stuff, and the guy, the family I bought it from said, it's never been used before. It's brand new. They got it at their wedding. Now their wedding was 17 years ago, but it was like they said they'd never used it. It was 17 years ago. They got it at a wedding gift. And I'm like, heck yeah, it's like $10 or 5, 10, 15, something like that. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna buy this thing. And of course, I bought it, and I bited it, and went home, go to the store, and I've seen the machines at the store, and they always, they're cool, and then they grind it and stuff, but it never comes out looking like peanut butter, like real peanut butter. At first it's kind of so I bought this machine, and I bought the machine. I put and it was all clean. Like I said, I checked out everything. It was clean. I put it full of peanuts and cashews. I think I did both cashews and peanuts, and turned that sucker on, and it came out, and it had like a peanut butter. I mean, it looked like peanut butter. It had a little bit of green and black stripes to it and stuff, a little bit. But I'm thinking to myself, well, that's how peanuts gonna come out. I never had it before, so I always wanted it, and it tasted kind of peanut buttery, but it just something wrong with it. I'm like, there's something. It had this funky taste to it. I'm like, well, then I finally figured out, like, wait a second, before I feed any more of this to my family, I was tasting it, but I'm like, shit, there's something wrong off this thing. What's going on? Like maybe, and there's some little black streaks in it. So like, maybe it had oil on the gears of some sort, or and it just kind of been sitting there for that long. So then I decided, well, I'm gonna, before I bring it back or anything like that, I'm going to open it up and make certain that there's not a gear oil leaking or something like that into the peanut butter, So I opened it up, and then I realized that there was a spot in there, that one more piece of the engine that you could take out to clean. And when I took that out, I realized that it had been used before, about 17 years prior, and it was all black and green mold all through it. And that was just coming into the peanuts that we were eating. 17-year-old mold. And, yeah. And so I'm not friends with that guy anymore. Oh, wait a second. It's you.
Probably make the vaccine with that.
You probably could. No, it was the B over there, Brian and Kelso. Why do you think he moved to Kelso, folks?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I think this isn't working right. And I opened up and found out that, it's black and green mold coming through there, and I'm eating it. I was like, it was horrible.
That's a good lesson.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
In fact, that's probably why I haven't caught the COVID. You're right.
If you get anything like that has to do with cooking or making things, clean it out.
Well, I thought it was brand new because that's what my new friend had told me.
I don't think I told you that. I said I never used it, but somebody.
He had never used it, but
it might have been used. It might have been used when I got it. It might have been another 5 years old.
Right. That's much better. But there's at least 17 years old rotten peanut butter stuff in there, and yeah. And so you can survive off that, apparently. God made dirt. Dirt doesn't hurt, right? Supposedly. But yeah, that was pretty rancid. That was probably the most rancid thing I can think of. Something off. That was probably my closest edible thing off. What was that show they used to do that? Fear Factor. They have that nasty shit, the 100-year-old eggs and stuff. That's where that would go to. It was like, I can't believe they do that, by the way. Some places eat 100 or 200-year eggs. Wow. Eggs. Matter of fact, in the Philippines, one of the so I'm going to go off my tangent, my story there for a second. But in the Philippines, they do, which is weird, folks, if you don't know, but it's a delicacy. They do eat it on the streets. They do duck eggs, and they eat the duck egg, fertilized duck eggs. So the duck is fertilized inside the egg, it dies, and then they eat it. It's disturbing. And a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, should be, maybe someday, but a little girl named the Filipina P. So Filipina P, P-E-A, Filipino P. She's on YouTube. You can check her out as well. But she has that dares. She has all of her clientele. They do dares. I mean, they tell her to do dares. After 5,000 new subscriptions, she'll do their dares or whatever. And one of the dares was for her to eat one of those. And she goes, "This is actually in my streets or my street or my city. They do eat this all day long." But she had never done it before, so she actually did it, and it was on the film there, and it was pretty disgusting. And she had to put peppers on it and vinegar and stuff, and eat it. I can't speak correctly today, but it was edible for her apparently. But I guarantee you, I couldn't gag it down. Unless you put some of that rotten peanut butter on it, maybe then I could have done it.
I wish we would have kept that stuff just to see what it was. That 17-year-old mold could have been medication.
Yes, it could. It definitely could be. Probably a new fungus of some sort. And a lot of times, I bet you anything, Brian. There's stuff that we do eat throughout our lives that actually, well, besides the fact, could kill us. If it doesn't kill us, it could actually help other things. Vaccines or whatnot.
Immunity. It could strengthen your immunity.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you that strengthened my immunity. It was so bad.
Yeah, I want to shift gears for a moment. Do you ever wonder about what was going on around here on the day you were born?
On the day I was born, I remember, actually, I was at the hospital, oddly enough.
Did you know that the summit switched to the retreat on that day? There it is. There's the daily news from the day you were born. Wednesday, June 20th. Wednesday, June 20th, 1973. That's pretty cool.
Which summit is that, Brian?
I can't. I'd have to get my glasses, but I'm.
This Camp David moving.
Oh yeah, it is.
Their summit talks to.
That's a big one.
Scenic setting in the Maryland mountains. Oh, dang it!
Whoa. Nixon and the Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev. That's big stuff on the day you were born. But let's look down.
Well, I think is what's more important to me on the left-hand side of that is Waco is.
Waco is charged.
Waco charged. So Weyerhaeuser Company.
Criminal charges.
Yep.
Actions along a creek, and then there was something pretty cool around here. Something to do.
Yeah, because they dumped stuff out there on what do you call it? County line, and that's they did all that stuff back in the day, back on the mint farm too. For years and years and years. And that's why people were like,
"Here's a
let's
picture
drink out of that water."
Look at that picture. Look at that picture at Kessler School being taken down. And the day you were born, the price of food was to rise 12%. The day you were born, food prices went up 12%.
It looks like there's a Black Lagoon monster on the far left, though, too. What is that?
Let's see what that is.
On the day I was born.
Wow.
Oh, that's a monkey.
Yeah.
You know what? Hang on a second.
Brazil.
There's a chimpanzee constitutional. Hang on. Go back to is it in Brazil, really?
Yeah, it's a guy walking with a Brazil called Chimpanzee Constitutional. Takao the chimpanzee takes his constitutional with Dr. Jackson or what? No, I don't know. I can't read that much. But the commissioners created a personnel post with the goal of constantly raising taxes, and they were able to achieve that. So there you go.
Hey, there you go. Hey, so you on a side note there, you talk about that chimpanzee. My grandfather's brother, so my great uncle, or my uncle, and my great uncle, he was he was in charge of all the animals at Portland Zoo, and he taught Rosie he was the first trainer for Rosie the elephant and stuff. So.
Oh wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I saw a picture of him years ago in Portland paper, which has these monkeys all climb up they all escaped, and they're climbing up the fencing around the I-5 or over I-5 actually, or not I-5. It would be whatever highway across the road that is. But their monkeys were escaped, and he's up there taking them down and stuff by himself. Pretty cool, He was very gifted animal trainer, lover, and all that kind of stuff, because he just talked to them. They had their own language,
Oh,
he was the Dr. Doolittle of my family.
Well, we'll get rid of this. There's the monkeys.
That's the hidden owl of the monkey butt.
There you go. That'd be a good Rorschach test.
What do you see? An owl inside a monkey butt.
What's funny is it changes as you zoom in. So it's.
I know. That's why I said. It says the owl inside the monkey butt.
The day you were born, man.
Yeah, the day I was born, there was a lot going on. I tell you, the earth moved under my feet.
Yeah.
I felt the sky tumbling down, and I was born at was not Calais General at the time. It was Monticello Hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Monticello Hospital, which was turned into Calais General, and then it went back to Monticello, and then back to Calais General, I think. So.
Wow.
Which, yeah, it changed
Some
the time.
indecision and waffling.
I have no idea why. I never looked
Okay.
into that.
The mills
But-
have changed names several times. Most of the mills.
The mills, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be Fiber, Capstone.
Yeah, Fiber, which is now Blackstone? No. BlackRock?
It
No.
was Capstone, but it might be something else. West something.
Yeah.
West
I think
Rock.
maybe it's West Rock, yeah.
Yeah, West
I
Rock. West Rock.
don't recall. But
Crazy.
there was a couple of them, Black something or other, Blackwater. You know, speaking of which, not to talk about politics, but sometime I'm going to do a study on Blackwater and the other military groups that are personally owned armies around here. I think that's,
Yeah.
I think that is not what America should be having. And I don't want to go into political debate right now, but that is a dangerous thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you have the personally owned and trained armies in America,
Mhm.
nah, we have our own. And if we don't, that means that's where, I mean, we have these, you know, people are allowed to have their guns. Well, you're gonna have your guns, which will be your well-regulated militia. That's okay. But if Brian owns the militias, that's not okay.
Yeah. They've got to be a team of citizens just working together, not a business so much.
Yep, and that's what they have right now. There's a couple of them. There's a couple other companies out there like that, and Blackwater's like the biggest. Matter of fact, sadly, our own government has borrowed and rented from them many times.
Oh yeah.
And if they want something done, they don't want to see themselves do. They have they hire those guys. You know.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna shift from Blackwater to gold hoodies. I think
You should. Yeah. No. It's a chilly
good
one.
look. It works.
You know, and I have a people come and work for me all the time, and there's one girl that I love her to death, but I'm gonna fire her right now because I'll tell you, on national TV,
Wow.
you're fired, Kennedy. I'm kidding. I love her to death. She's my niece. She's
Internet.
married to give birth to a second niece of mine, and named Eden, which is wonderful. And so, she's probably fired until she's able to get back on her feet because I think literally she's probably in labor right now.
Wow.
Or it's getting close, and it's getting to that point. But for like the second or third time in a row, I've come to my house this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and found out that it's 60 degrees inside. I'm like going, what did Max, my dog Max, must have left the door open somewhere, you know? I'm like, what is going on here? And I look, and she has messed with my temperature gauge in my house and totally, I mean, she starts cleaning. So I put her to work for 2 hours or whatever, you know, however. And while she's cleaning, she decides to change the temperature in my house and then always just shuts it down. And I'm like, I'm going to give her a personal fan, or I'm going to I'm going to leave and let her walk around here in the buff so she can be cool, because I just don't touch my heating temperatures in my house. I get me wrong. It gets a little warm here sometimes, but I keep it at 72 degrees. And yeah, I don't want to pay to get reheated. And I sure as shit do not like waking up frozen, you know?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like I don't know. Well, Brian sleeps.
I think 60's pretty warm.
Yeah, Brian sleeps with a whole nightgown, full fur coat and stuff, you know. So I understand.
No, I sleep cold. I read a thing years ago. You sleep cold. It's a good way to go.
I prefer sleeping cold. Let me rephrase that. I prefer going to sleep cold and warming.
Yeah, I warm just 1 or 2 blankets. You can warm up because body heat.
Yeah. But I hate waking up cold.
Oh, we all do.
All right. So, ladies, you need some hairy guy to hug on to, and and to keep you warm at night. I know somebody. I'm not sure who the hell he is at the moment, but if you go to Match.com, no, I'm not promoting anybody. There's Zoosk, Zozsk. There's Match. There is Tinder loving. I don't know. Never been on that site, but yeah, by the way, I mean, I fortunately I haven't done the dating site since all yet. I've actually looked into them at one time, but because of just me in particular, it's kind of a it's kind of like a double indemnity. If I because I seem to know most people in my area, or they know me, so it's like, and I hate to be, I'm not trying to be like narcissistic, but the fact is that if you're in that circle of life that I'm in, I usually know about you pretty early. You know, I'm not saying like about the girl. I just mean as far as this society, in our society, local society, I kind of, I don't know, learn about you, know about you, or whatever. And it'd be very surprising for me to find out that you're somebody I don't know already. You know,
Yeah.
Small town. There's 5 of us, 15 of us, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but no, I just seem to know everybody, and then also, if I do want to go on a date with somebody, I usually go on a date with them out of town because it's just weird to be in town and be on a date because everywhere I go, people are, hey Lonnie, and I'm like, which is fine, Danny. I love it. My friends are my friends, and I have so many of them. I love you guys so much. But if I'm on a date with a girl, it's like, yeah, they're like, well, what did you do to become so famous? I'm like, I don't know, died. You know.
If you have a girl from out of town, though, it's good because then she wonders why you're so popular. It gives you something.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's the way it'll be on my next one. Date from a girl from out of town. It'll have to happen. I'll have to bring her out in town, show her. Matter of fact, my friend Rudy from DC, night before last, we went to the bar and we went to Shamrock, which I don't even ever go to that often. But I mean, I just happened to go in there, and he's like, "Anybody know you're around here, Lonnie?" I walked in the door, and the people we went to meet weren't there, but there was like 3 or 4 people in that place. It was pretty desolate actually. Yeah. And then a couple minutes later, 3 other girls walk in and give me all hugs and stuff. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm just a lovable guy. I know. Love you till they don't have to love you anymore, and they leave the door.
You still have a lot of friends you went to school with, people from that era.
Yeah, they're stuck in the mud. They can't move out. Well, that's just not true.
Came back. Like I left, came back. People do that.
I think everybody should, and everybody does for the most part, leave and come back, because Longview, I've always said Longview is made in a wagon wheel. Yeah. Well, you know, we always talk about how it was a prepared city, actually planned city, the first planned city in America, and it's built in a wagon wheel. And because of that, everybody always goes and comes back. I'll say that they go and come back. You know,
kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, I did, you know, and you did, and everybody else did. It's like which is good. I believe that, like, my daughter right now, she's going to school for medical. She wants to be in medicine. So I'm hoping. Well, she's over at Idaho now, but I'm hoping that she'll get her education. She'll be a master of whatever it is she wants to become, whatever that might be, and then bring that abilities back to our area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least for some of her life. You know, sometimes.
Yeah. Just because we need that, and in this area, you know. Yeah. And I hope more people do, because I understand wanting to get out. I really do. You need to. It's important, because you want to see the rest of the world. You want to see what the big city's like. Oh my gosh, so different. You know, when I moved back here from Seattle, before I moved back here, you know, I was doing sales stuff, management and sales and stuff. And I was like, well, do I want to be in networking up there? But I'm like, do I want to be a big fish in a little pond, or a little fish in a big pond? Because up there in Seattle, I figured my children were just being born. And I'm like, raising my kids in a big city like that, I thought, while there's more opportunity, they will become a number and not a person. You know what I mean? To the teachers and stuff, and teachers and businesses and so forth, you become majority of people. You become a number and not a student, the name of a kid, you know? And so I wanted to give them the opportunity in a smaller town to build themselves. You know what I mean? So that's what they're doing. I think. My son still lives here. My daughter's over in Idaho, and I'm certain that both of them will do wonders in this world.
Yeah. And people don't forget the small town roots. I got some friends that are retiring and moving back.
Yeah. Well, I think that they don't forget their roots, but a lot of people are at a young age, you know, at 20, 25, whatever. They're like, I'm getting out of here. I'm never coming back. This place is horrible. Well, everybody says that. Everybody says, hey, I'm going to do this. And, I'm not coming back. It's like, why wouldn't you come back here? I understand there's issues here, but this is where you can help. This is where you can do the most good.
Yeah.
It's like where your lineage comes from. Come back and help us. Help me, help you, help us. It's a true thing. It's like we need that in our society. We need that in our community. So as a plan of life, don't say no to coming back home and helping out here for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of reconnected with a lot of my old friends from the high school days just by doing this page that I do. That's it's a Kelso page called the K-Town Chronicles. I'll give a quick look here. It's we're covering a thing that happened 50 years ago. I don't know if you can see it. Cowlitz wins state Little League, and a friend of mine, Brian Johnson, was on that team, and they're trying to have a reunion this year. So I did a series of all 7 games that led to the state title. And I get a lot of response from old classmates and even Longview people, because we're all the same area. It's not just Kelso.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
It was big. It was a big time deal. And
well, sports fanatics are sports fanatics, and I swear they, like yourself, they don't ever disconnect.
yeah,
The good old days, That's where that song, like one of the good old days songs, from, I'm trying to think who sings Good Old Days, but is it Bruce Springsteen? He's got the Good Old Days song.
Glory Days.
Glory Days, yeah. So those Glory Days actually, they ring true for a lot of sports fanatics and sports fans who not just fanatics, people who played sports. It was that time in their life where they were actually achieving things, having fun on a daily occurrence,
Yeah.
or being mistreated on a daily occurrence. That's the difference. My ex-wife hated high school. Absolutely, she never want to go back to it. I, on the other hand, I was the king of the king. I'm the king of the swing, baby. No, not the king of the swing. I was just kind of, I was having fun, 100%. Until, of course, they said, hey, you can't graduate with your friends.
Yeah.
If you want to graduate, you got to actually go to school. So, but it was fun, it was all fun. And then I actually had to buckle down and do a hell of a lot of work my senior year, but more than, yeah.
Well, those Cowlitz kids, it's hard to believe it's been 50 years, but they were from a small league. They had to win every game. You couldn't lose one game. They won 7 in a row. And the parents were a big part of it. They carried the league. It was amazing. And the fans, brothers and sisters, it was a whole, it got bigger and bigger in the paper. It became a big thing. And they got to play the Oregon team in a big game. So it was wild. They won the state title, first one ever in the local area. And it was just cool to see
So what was baseball?
Yeah, Little League, 12-year-old, first local team to ever win a state title.
Now this area, I'll tell you what, we have a pretty good baseball thing going through this area. We always have, we've got some amazing coaches and so forth. But we even have, we've got to have the Babe Ruth World Series here multiple times and stuff, which is pretty damn cool, And we've had, even, and I'm not sure how Kelso does for baseball. How good are they?
Oh, they're good.
Are they good? Well, Ari Long, I know, is actually always not, I don't know about always, but when I went to school there and a few years prior to that, and even a few years after that, they've had some pretty good coaches and pretty good teams.
Oh, yeah.
And then LCC here locally has had some really good players there. And then they brought in a minor, major minor game.
Semi-pro Black Bears.
Semi-pro game, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That's the Grizzlies, right?
Well, the Black Bears, they might be back this year. They might be coming back.
Yeah, I hope so. But the Black Bears games I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan, right? But I enjoy live games and watching the Black Bears play. It is like professional baseball. I mean, those guys are hitting that ball at 95 miles an hour. I mean, and it's weird because you're not that far away from the seats, so that baseball could really kill you. I mean, in the you go to the what do you call it, the U.S. the Mariners, you're a good 100 yards out. If you catch that ball, it's gonna hit and hurt you. If it hits you, it's gonna hurt you. But now if you're 35 feet away and that sucker hits you in the face, that's gonna be. So you can feel the bench seats. You know, they're all kind of old. Well, those are actually pretty new, but there's some wooden ones out there too that are. It's just weird to be in that stadium. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to go with me that often to that thing because I don't know. It's not as popular as I think it would be, you know.
Yeah.
But it's super cool and it's really nice. And they have like the dollar beer sometimes and the specials they have going on. So I definitely recommend checking that out, making a date of it if you have somebody to take you to the game. It's a fun one.
Oh yeah. Well, when they won that state title, it was kind of like pro baseball almost. We were all big fans. Everybody traveled, but if you couldn't make it, the radio, KLOG had the best broadcast because once they got out of town and started playing in bigger tournaments, they had a guy named Squeak Holbrook. Ask Kirk Rowland about him. He's a legend. Squeak Holbrook.
So you bring in Kirk Rowland. Now, Kirk Rowland, ladies and gentlemen, is a local little legend on radio, on not just on radio, but on sports and so forth. I think he's actually the sports director possibly at LCC.
Oh, he's the athletic director at LCC. He says he chose Big Fish, Small Pond.
Yeah, I totally believe it.
He benefited from that.
When you hear him speak, he is such a clear speaker, and he's been doing the radio for so long that it's second nature to him. That actually it's just first nature. It's just him. It's pretty amazing, and he does a great job. So, Kurt, thumbs up to you. Even though I called you your brother's name here recently. I was out golfing and ran into him, and I'm like, "Hey, Mark, can you take me a picture for me?" and he looks at me and goes, "Sure, Lonnie." And didn't say a word. He did not say a word. And well, we talked and he took pictures of me and my friends from out of town. We were golfing, and as I'm walking out in the parking lot, it was like a hammer hit me. That wasn't Mark. That was Kirk. And I'm like, shoot, you know. So I had to text him like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that." And he goes, "Oh, it's okay. My mom does the same thing, so that's okay." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't feel bad about that." But I felt like an idiot. You know what I mean? When I'm like, you call somebody the wrong name, not a good thing. But you know, it happens.
He's a good example too. He went off to college in San Diego State for 4 years, came back. So that was cool. Got his broadcasting degree or whatever, communication.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about him. However, I could totally see it. I mean, you know, so broadcasting in particular, I thought for years that was the not just a rich and famous thing, but I thought in particular I would have a radio show. I mean, I did. I thought I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I went to Portland. I took all the tests for the radio. It was the Broadcasting School of whatever it was, and International School of Broadcasting, whatever. I went and took the test. I did fine. They're like, "Okay, we'll accept you." I went about almost a year later. I went and did it again in Seattle, knowing that I was going to become a radio star of some sort. You know, I went to the broadcasting school, took the test. They're like, "Oh, you are what we want," blah, blah, blah. And I still failed because my follow through sucked so bad in life on certain things. Yeah. And I really hated that because I was like, I have to have a job and I have to go to school and yada, yada. And you give excuses for everything. I tell you what, everybody has excuses because everybody is an asshole. Everybody has an asshole. Don't be that asshole. Do your freaking thing. Follow through with your dreams in life. Yeah, that was my dream at the time, actually, was being a broadcaster. So, and then oddly enough, years later, probably, let's see how many years later, I was 18, 19 at the time, 12, 2020. And then 20 years later, basically, I'll say almost 20 years later, I end up being on a radio show. And they're like, hey, why don't you host this thing? You know, so then I'm like hosting the show for 7 years. I'm like, that was pretty funny actually. I highly enjoyed it too. You know, my hosting the radio show, which was basically a weekly show or a couple times bi-weekly show of the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber Connection, which was I'd have 2 to 3 business owners on the show every week and talk about or actually every day, and talk about their businesses and help promote them personally and help promote them through this, because people, they don't like to speak in public. They're afraid to a lot of times, you know. So you get them out there, you start making them laugh, have some fun, and they open up, and you know what? That sells.
Yeah.
When you get a person to open up and tell you their stories and stuff, that sells. So that's why, folks, we're not here right now we're not trying to make money off of this thing at all. It's Brian and I trying to just relearn to communicate again, do the radio thing or do whatever this is we're doing, speaking in public, because I'll tell you what, this pandemic has shut everything down. And for an extrovert like myself or Brian, we implode if we don't do this. Yeah. So we have to, take advantage of it and get us out there. That's what we're doing. It's for us, not for anybody else or anything. But people have started watching a little bit, so we're going to let you guys make it public, apparently, and maybe do that, But that's the purpose of it, not because we are like trying to make money off it, Well, so I hope you enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. And these questions and stuff, I hope they make you ponder yourself, because when I say, hey, what's your favorite sports car? I'd like for you guys to, whatever it is in particular, when Brian asked a question, what was happening in your birthday and wherever you're at, write that stuff down in the comments down below, and feel free to like and subscribe. Bam. But onward and upward on that. So basically our pound hour, by the way, at the end of each show, we do the Rochambeau, which is rock, paper, scissors, which is rock, paper, scissors, no dynamite, no karate chops. It's just, that's what it is. But feel free to, if you video yourself doing this thing with us, let us know. That'd be kind of fun.
That's a good idea. Well, earlier you mentioned lack of follow through being a problem. And that one thing I've noticed is almost every famous person that makes it in any discipline, it's mostly hard work, 90%, not talent. Everybody's got it, talent, but it's the work and the determination and not giving up. So,
well, it's not, mine's not the inability to do hard work. I am what they consider an ENTP, which is the extrovert, and which ENTP. So N would be what my brain's gone at the moment. I know this all stuff, but
lack of follow through. Lack of follow through is not working smart. I do it too. I don't follow through on some ideas, but some ideas it's best to let go though too.
No, 100%. But my follow through is actually the whole. I have got these wonderful ideas and great ideas, and if I don't find somebody to agree with me on this, to make it, to say, hey, it's a great idea and go forward with it, it floats off. It's gone. That thought and memory is gone. I swear, a lot of times as a child, I had these weird dreams that I solved the world's problems. I wake up thinking, world hunger, done. I shit you not, that is the truth. I would wake up thinking to myself, I've solved it all, whatever it is, whatever that equation was in my brain. I would sleep through the night with equations, which is really weird. But I would say, how do I figure this shit out? I mean, it would be simple as, how do things fit between my toes?
Yeah.
How does the world? It's just weird. It's just weird stuff. But I would figure these equations, these problems out. I'd figure these problems out in my dreams, and then I'd wake up and I'd lose it, and I can't believe that would happen. I'm like, I had the world solved right there. I had, nuclear fusion figured out, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was gone, because it was a fleeting moment of time, just boom, And so my thing is, I need to have somebody right next to me and say, hey, that's a great idea. Write that down, or basically say, yeah, you go for it, Lonnie. Because if I don't have somebody there pretty quick to say, hey, let's do this, let me help you. I should have been born with an assistant. I really should have. It's like, I could have used a baby sister, baby brother, somebody to do this, Actually, what show is that where the guy always says something? You can say, "Oh, write that down." What movie is that?
Quite a few of them. I don't know. There was
They say something and say, "Write that down."
Yeah, I've seen that a bunch. I don't know which movies particular.
Yeah, I'm thinking something right. But it say something and they write that down. That's how I figure. That's how I felt. But
Well, when somebody comes back on you a month or two later and say you're still working on that thing and you're not, it's embarrassing.
right, yeah.
Unless you
Well,
just said it didn't work, I moved on. That's good. I don't mind that.
yeah, no, I still. It's like the unresolved. I have so much unresolved stuff in my life, apparently.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. But then again, I don't shut doors. I don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of a bad thing too, because I don't resolve it, and I need to. I think in particular, and I don't have any. And I hold no ill will for anybody. Even if I should. I tend not to. But I think in relationships, that's another problem that I have, that I figured out how not to do that, which is basically I need to learn to shut that door behind me.
Yeah.
You know?
I try to say no to stuff too, but sometimes it's good to start an idea. Like I'll have a song parody for something,
Yeah.
work on it for a couple hours and realize it's not going to be worth the effort to get what I want.
Well, it can be fun, just like what you and I are doing right now. It's not for a major. We're not trying to solve anything. We're just trying to have fun with it. And that's why it's been so good for us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We're not.
Some things it's good to let go. Like the song parody at that time, I didn't want to spend 2 hours a day on it or 8 hours. But move on. It's always there. But yeah, it's learning better follow through. That's something I'm working on too. It's just
most definitely.
Try to make less promises is what I'm doing.
Right now, my resolve is going to be with watching the rest of the Peaky Blinders, because that is it's just weird, folks. I've always had these hats and stuff, and I've always enjoyed that this genre.
Yeah.
But my whole thing was I had never heard of the Peaky Blinders actually until I looked for some art on my wall, and I'm like, oh, that's what I want. And then started manipulating some stuff, made some pictures myself that are similar off of the Peaky Blinders guy. But I'm getting some wall art made, and then I see this Peaky Blinders. I thought it was some weird artist. Come to find out, it's a show on Netflix called Peaky Blinders, and it's fantastic. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not like the best thing in the world. I'll give it
though. It's really good.
I would give it an 8 for sure. 8 out of 10.
It is.
There you go, Peaky Blinders. That's him right there. Now, if you go,
is it on Amazon Prime or whatever? Amazon TV?
No, it's on Netflix.
Oh.
As far as the last seasons are, all I've got is seasons 1 through 5 right now. But I'll tell you what, if you press images.
Oh yeah, there's great images of there. He is.
See that? See how there it is with the old
season
newspaper
6.
caps. Yeah, the newspaper caps and stuff.
Wow.
Those guys. I love the outfits and stuff. And so if you go, did you Google that?
I just Googled it and it went to picture.
So on your Googles, type in images.
Images. Right. There you go.
Images.
It's coming up now. Images. What do we got?
Oh, you didn't Google it. You did a.
Images.
Well, that's okay. But I'd say that wall art.
What were you trying to do there?
I was going to try and have you show me. I'd show you the wall art that I was trying to get done. I'm getting made for it. So if you press you're not using Google, you're using something else. So I don't know.
No, Google Chrome.
Google Chrome. Okay, so put in Peaky Blinders wall art.
Oh, wall art. Yeah, sure. I didn't.
Yeah, and that'll kind of show you what I'm doing on one of my walls over here.
Yeah.
With my new couch, which I got a new couch, of course, which is red. I promise I'll show you guys sometime, and I will do that. But at the moment.
Well, the red couch was a bold move, but I think it was a good move.
I think so. If I get people to take their feet off of it and not eat on it, we're good.
Well, I've been doing pretty good at it, not having a cup of coffee or whatever on it. So we're working on it.
No, we're good. And I don't know what to do as far as something else around there. If I need to have a table or something like that. But,
yeah, you can figure out.
Some girl will tell me what to do. And I will be like, okay, fine. I have an issue to I don't know. My walls in here currently, I've got these. Nope, keep on going.
These are good.
No, keep on going. Keep
Ooh.
going, keep it going, keep it going. There's a one of just see that's cooler than shit, but
Oh,
that's not what I
wow.
was
All
doing.
this is great. Ah, that's
Right. Well, that's no, that's not either. But yeah, this the colors. That's just it's just cool. Keep going. Keep it going.
these are
No,
great pictures. It's great
they
imagery.
are. That's look at that. It's great.
The
Yeah, I'm
black
not
and
trying to
white.
get. I'm not trying to bring them up. And this is it's kind of like Scarface
Yeah.
and the IRA. You know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So
These are
I don't
really
see
cool.
I don't see the one that I was gonna have on my wall there, but.
Well, you could bring it up next time if we don't find it. Let's go through a few more.
That's cool. I mean, there's a lot. Actually, these are super cool. I might actually do a little more of this because that's a good one right
Yeah,
there. I like that one. Wow. So,
that's
but the
cool.
one that he's sitting there holding an apple, you can see it. Peaky fucking blinders. That's a common statement in that movie in that show. But
Yeah, I'll look it up here in a second and bring it back up.
which is funny, actually, Brian. There's an old show, an old movie, one of my favorite old movies. Probably my favorite gang type of movie or anything like that, you know. When I
Yeah.
was a child, there's a few of them that came out. The Wanderers was my favorite. So, The Wanderers in that movie. Do you remember The Wanderers?
Kinda. Is it that gang one?
Yeah. So it's always if you type up, you can find The Wanderers on there somewhere.
Well,
But
I'm
The
trying to
Wanderers,
find that. I'm trying to find that picture of the Pinky Blinder apple eating shot.
oh well, yeah.
You're saying that was a good shot.
He's not eating the apple. He's holding the apple, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's if you should vinyl wall art or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, but so the Peaky Blinders, he says that don't mess with the freaking don't mess with the effing Peaky Blinders, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or Peaky freaking Blinders, you know. And my favorite show as a kid, movie, which is because of the camaraderie and the friendship of this group. Not because of it was the best movie, but it was because of the solidarity between friends.
Yeah.
It came out when I was a teenager, and well, it probably came out before that, but I saw it as a teenager, and it probably came out in the '70s actually. But it's called The Wanderers, and I felt as a child, my neighborhood was huge. I had lots of friends and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I always felt. I told you before that you know my dear friend he passed away. Brandon lived down the street from me.
Yeah.
But anytime, particularly he needed help, or if I need help, or anything like that, you know, I was like, just whistle or whatever, you know, and I felt like my friends would be there, that somebody would hear me, and they'd come to my aid. I knew for a fact that happened actually. If I need help, they're like, I whistle and they'd come, because they'd come to Lonnie's aid, because I'd do that for them in a heartbeat, right? So I grew up kind of feeling this way, that I was part of this gang, this team, whatever it might be in the neighborhood. And Brandon and I got in a lot of scrimmages with other kids and stuff in the neighborhood. So it was kind of like you knew that you're not gonna mess with him and not have me, and you're not gonna mess with me and not find him. So it's pretty cool, you know, to have that feeling, you know, 13 years old or 12 years old, whatever it was, 10 years old, whatever, and just have this feeling of you know, someone's got your back at all time, you know.
Yeah, and that was
the Wanderers is what happens. The Wanderers in that movie, The Wanderers, like I said, not the best movie right there. That's it. Yep. The Wanderers jackets and stuff. Because there was another movie that came out about the exact same time, which was The Warriors. The Warriors is a gang movie that was set in New York. And that went through the Bronx and so forth. And it was pretty brutal movie that the Wanderers or the Warriors were, right? Because they had that little. I think their biggest thing in the whole movie was that guy going, "Warriors come out to play." Remember that? Yeah. That was actually unscripted and off the top of his head. They said, "Hey, we want you to basically antagonize them," you know. So this guy grabs these beer bottles and starts clinking them, just going. And then did that, Warriors come out to play. And that thing has been historical. Oh, yeah. That thing is stuck forever. Just click, 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 click. and it's so creepy. You know what I mean? It was one of those. Matter of fact, they should reuse that in a movie nowadays, just to have intimidation. Just like some guys going, "Warriors, come out to play." Anyways, yeah, but I didn't like the Warriors that much. There was a lot of the inner city gangs, and it was I was unfamiliar with that.
I loved it. It was my favorite, actually.
Yeah, see, it was everybody's favorite because it was more popular. It made people so they didn't even see the Warriors. A lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh well, let me say about the Warriors. So I found them. It was hard to find for years and years and years. I had to actually pay. I've had to find a couple movies in my life, and I'll write them both down here. Movies. I'm talking about that in a minute, but.
Yeah, I watched the Warriors last year. I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
Kind of funny. It's a little silly at times, but
Yeah.
it was good.
Nothing spectacacular, right? And
Well, I liked it a lot, but it was the '70s movies were wild.
yeah, they were. So, but in the Warriors, like you said, you could whistle and you say, and all of a sudden you'd have your friends come. They'd be like, where the Wanderers would come. But there's a part in that movie they'd come to help you, and there's a part in that movie where one of the other groups. It's funny. Have you ever watched the Wanderers?
Yeah, years ago. I always liked that guy Ken Wall. He went on to do The Wise Guy. Remember that series, The Wise Guy?
Yeah, and there's also in that movie it has Meat from Porky's. That's where he came from.
Oh, okay, that's where he.
So Meat from Porky's is actually like he's the hero, or not the hero, but he's actually the troubled youth beaten from his father, who is actually no, he's not the one that's getting beat up by his own dad, but I mean he's just a troubled youth, and he decides he's the big kid, he's the giant kid, and the big strong ox, and he becomes part of the the Warriors themselves were kind of an underdog. They were underdogs.
Oh yeah, the underbelly of New York.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about New York. Was it New York? I'm not sure. Jersey?
Oh, I believe it was New York.
I'm not sure where.
Yeah, because it was all the gangs of New York coming together, I believe.
But it wasn't. But I thought that was more of the Warriors and the Wanderers. Maybe
no, that's what I meant. The Warriors. I was talking about the Warriors. I see you prefer the Wanderers. I prefer the Warriors. The guy from the Warriors ended up doing Xanadu, and his career was over.
Yeah. But as far as the Wanderers go, I was gonna say what they in that movie they show like they're going through. It's more of a rural area, and although it's city, but it's kind of more of a rural. It's more open. It's not as dark but they you're right. It is kind of a Jersey service. It's kind of a New Jersey like kind of a feel.
Sounds kind of like that Tudor Lake gang. If it's
but so there's one part in that movie where they all end up at the high school. They're playing a football game, and the football teams are playing, and all of a sudden you've got a martial art guy shows up at the corner. Well, actually, there was a zombie type of guy that shows up there. He was like, "What?" And not a zombie guy, but that's kind of like the group that he was in. And the football players, like most football players, are actually Wanderers. And so, they're like, "Hey, do you see that guy over there? Do you see that?" And all of a sudden, the rival gangs all showed up at one time at the football field, and they just went at it. I would love to see that movie redone. Redo the Wanderers. I'm telling somebody now, but it is so awesome. But there's a part one of the gangs is named the Baldies.
Oh wow!
But that part in Peaky Blinders, when they say, "Don't fuck with the Peaky Blinders," right? That says it current and it's common occurrence in that. But there's a movie part in the Wanderers that the guy says, "Don't fuck with the Baldies," and that just always sticks in my head for years. Yeah. Matter of fact, Brian, when I was in the hospital and they had to shave my head because I had brain surgery, and they showed me what I looked like, and it was tragic. I mean, I was just they had scars, I had cuts, I had you name it. My head was bald, and they showed me in the mirror, and they go, "What do you think?" And I said, "That's exactly what I said. Don't fuck with the Baldies." That's how funny. That was the one thing I said right then and there. And I was like, And I was like, oh my gosh, I just came back to reality because like a month later after my brain injury. And and they had that mirror in front of me. I said, don't fuck with the Baldies. Because all of a sudden I felt powerful again. I was back to
Yeah, I
life,
like
you know,
that.
but
That's good. Oh, I was
yeah.
I looked on Wikipedia real quick, and it was set in the Bronx, but I think they went outside of the city too.
Yeah, they might have,
The
because they have,
Warriors never left the city.
yeah, I'm not sure because it was way more open than,
I want to see the Wanderers again. I want
yeah,
to.
we'll
That's what
find it. It's hard to find. I mean, I don't know if you can find it anywhere because it was like one of those lost movies, and I had to
Yeah.
buy it one time. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna go back to the movies in particular. Movies.
Well, we're an hour in, so whenever you want to.
Okay, I'll talk about movies for 1 second here. So
Yeah.
movies in particular, that lost movies that I've had to go out and find on my own that I could not find, get paid for. You know, the 2 movies throughout my life I've had to re-find. They were literally, you could not find them. I had to go to people who had them, like people who were specialists at reserving shit.
Yeah.
One was the Wanderers, and the other one was Song of the South.
Oh, wow.
Years ago, when my
That's
kids were
hard to
born,
find.
when my kids were younger,
Yeah, that.
I was like, these kids need to know about Uncle Remus, and they need to know about Briar Rabbit. And I don't care if it's a racial thing where this, you know, to me, race and stuff, these old movies, there was something that happened at the time. I'm sorry that it happened. And this will show us, hey, this is our history. We were bad, you know, and we can learn from that. But the Song of the South has some amazing stuff, you know. It's got it's not like it's not saying, hey, it's not promoting anything. It's just, in my mind, I don't think so. I don't think it's not promoting.
Yeah,
But
that'd be a good one to watch again, just to analyze and see why it's.
yeah, Song of the South
very
is amazing.
controversial.
Look, and that's where you get to look for the bare. No, I'm not the bare necessities. I'm sorry.
That's Jungle Book.
Yeah, you rock movie. You get the zippity doo dah, zippity yay. My oh my, what a wonderful day.
I like that.
Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity doo dah, zippity yay.
Good.
Mr. Bluebird. Now, see, that thing is, I sang that song throughout my whole life. My mom did too. It was like,
I love that one. And the
Yeah,
Bare
that's a good one.
Necessities song from Jungle Book's good too. So we
yeah,
got
for
an
sure.
hour in.
So we're gonna pound this out. Ready to do that?
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, like I said, wait a second, real quick. Like, subscribe, and feel free to, I mean, you don't have to. If you like it, subscribe.
If you like.
And if you want to pound it out with us, let us know what you got up with. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You got it.
I got you.
Losers wins.
Is that 2?
I will talk to you next time.
That's 2. Yep. See you later, everybody. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.